directly in control of the hero of the game from moment to moment, at least as much as was humanly possible. The second thing we wanted to do was to capture the spirit of pulp adventure and to kind of reinvent it for a contemporary audience in all of its thrills and spills, its comedy and romance, and its mystery and horror. And we were all big fans of the pulp genre, from early adventure tales like Robinson Crusoe and Treasure Island, to Tintin and Doc Savage, and the early adventure movies and the B-feature serials that so famously inspired George Lucas and Steven Spielberg in the creation of the brilliant Indiana Jones films. One more inspiration for Uncharted, though, which we've rarely mentioned in public, comes from the world of fine art. We knew we wanted to capture those feelings of exploration and wonder that you get when you're traveling in unfamiliar places and foreign lands, and when you wander through ancient ruins. And we thought that these feelings had been evoked really well by the kind of great architectural and landscape artists, especially the travel paintings of David Roberts and the architectural fantasies of Piranesi, and the adventures in light undertaken by the 19th century Romantic painters, people like Caspar David Friedrich. So this is my friend and colleague Amy Hennig. She's the creative director at Naughty Dog and the head writer of the Uncharted series. And she's one of the people most instrumental in the creation of the Uncharted games. And Amy and I have in fact worked together since 1998. We worked together on the Soul Reaver series, where we really cut our teeth in terms of doing our best to integrate storytelling and action gameplay in a way that felt cohesive and interesting. Amy, for my money, is not only one of the best writers in the video game business, she's also an exceptionally thorough researcher. And she studied pulp adventure in great detail during the pre-production phase for the first Uncharted game. And as she studied the stories in the pulp canon, she saw some common themes emerging. All of that action that drives those stories, running and jumping and hanging and climbing and the exploration of mysterious places. And gunplay and bare-fisted brawls and chases, either chasing someone or being chased. And these casts of great, interesting, often very eccentric characters whose allegiances shift over the course of the story, friends becoming enemies and vice versa. And cliffhangers and reversals of fortune and out of the frying pan into the fire kinds of situations. Amy quickly realized that these are all themes that provide a really great basis for an action video game. Action being the operative word, that is, the player's participatory action in a dynamic world. Another major theme that Amy seized upon around the same time in the classic pulps was a certain lightness of tone. That is, the feeling of a world that's bright and colourful and cheerful and, of course, humorous. And in every Uncharted game, we've tried to express this tone wherever and whenever it was appropriate, often through the colour palette, but in fact everywhere in the game, in the characters in particular. And in fact, emotional tone has become one of our most important touchstones throughout the course of development of any one of these games. We're always checking ourselves to add each new thing into the game to make sure that it resonates positively with the emotional tone that we're trying to hit with each section of the game. This emotional tone thing is incredibly fragile, and it's very easy to disrupt it, even with a sound effect or a line of dialogue that's out of place. So we faced lots of development challenges as we set out to create Uncharted Drake's Fortune. The first of these was that our target platform, the PlayStation 3, the machine that we were going to be developing the game for, didn't even exist yet. And we first began development working on the PC, in fact, and we just tried to make our best guesses about performance and targets. And to make a long story short, we messed it up pretty badly. We were way off base with nearly all of our estimates and hardly any of our tools, which were conceived as grandiose and kind of all singing, all dancing, barely worked. However, once we got the final version of the PS3 hardware, we managed to rescue the project, really by rebooting it from scratch and starting over just with simple tools that allowed us to make progress by implementing play mechanics and building levels and running around in them. One thing that we had got right, though, was the creation of a short proof of concept movie, which I'm going to show you now. And we might want to adjust the volume on this. We used this movie to get